Just off the back of the England-Samoa game here with a leg end, Rocky Clark,
Thank you.
the rock star, 92 points to 3, Rocky. Just your overall opinion of the game.
I mean, yeah, it went as we thought it would. There was some great tries being scored. There was a few left out there, a few unforced errors, and certainly things they need to improve. But you know, to the naked eye, it looked like a pretty good performance when you're getting near that 100-point mark. So,
you've been there when you are expected to win, and you've got a bonus point within 15 minutes. What are the exact details were today? How difficult is that psychologically to keep yourself going? Because as you say, plenty of unforced errors. So how difficult is it to keep yourself motivated through that delay?
Yeah, and it's tough. And certainly when I played and we put on some big scores, you start getting a little bit bored because all the ball goes out to the backs. But that wasn't quite the storyline today of all the front row pretty much getting on the score sheet. But it's difficult to make sure you stick to process, because you want to practice your structures for when it actually starts getting really difficult. You need to be able to, exit out your 22, do the right thing at the right time. What they could be guilty of, and they have were a number of times today, is actually, can I sniff through here, which a gap that wouldn't be against another team. So that's my only qualm with that. But some good performances, and a few people put their hands up, and it's all to play for.
So mark them then on that, sticking to process. Out of 10.
Probably 7.5. I think Helena Rowland played particularly well, obviously woman of the match, and got the structure going really well, obviously kicked well. But I certainly think there was a few times where they did something they wouldn't normally have done against a harder team. So they could be a little bit guilty of getting isolated or turned over, or risking a chance where they needed to make sure they got it.
Yeah, someone like Jess Breach has 52 tries and 49 caps now, which is just a record only second to your own, Rocky.
Well,
she didn't charge that kick, though, did she? Anyway.
Yeah, there is that.
Yeah, but she's not going to get that against the Canadas and France and New Zealand, is she? It's simple as that.
No, exactly, and you heard from Katie McLean as well about how you've got to play what's in front of you. But I do think there's an argument for being able to practice. So when you go into these harder, tighter games against the Canadas, the Frances, you've already practiced it. You know your timings. You know what your link play is, and that for me is just something they need to work on, and not just take the easy option.
Yeah, for me today, especially the first half, was a little bit more individualistic. I'm not sticking to those pressing, sticking to those processes that you were talking about. Look, John Mitchell did his selection for the first 3 pool games. Yeah, personally, not a big fan. Just off the back of the lines. It's about keeping everyone hungry and all that kind of stuff. At the moment, we probably those teams, don't we? Certainly starting to think probably the bench as well. So you're fighting for a bench spot, and therefore players are going to try and impress them. Does that help the overall campaign?
I think that people have to take the opportunities they're given. However, it's not just about can I get on the score sheet. It's about can I make others look good? Can I make the system work? Can I be influential on those those critical moments? And they've got to make sure that they take those, rather than it's not just about can you get a try, can you make a line break, when actually the space might be out wide to actually score a try, rather than you make it 5 metres, might be somebody else with an extra pass. We saw a couple of 2-on-1s missed at the corner that should have gone to hand, and Claude McDonald would have been in full time. So yeah, they've got to take those, and I would be enforcing that if I was Mitchell.
I was lucky in the press area, metres literally away from the coaching box. I'm not sure I saw a smile the entire 80 minutes. Literally not a smile. So I'd like to encourage you on how they are. It's difficult, isn't it, with a scoreline to not be impressed. As an overall, the 13 and a half, nearly 14 down to the year today, absolutely loved it. They love seeing the tries going in and all the rest of it. But this World Cup is about 2 games, isn't it? And today, for me, they didn't nail those processes well enough to say, you know what, this is their tournament, regardless. So let's do some positives today then. Your area of expertise, front row, the batsman who reaches out there. Great to see Mackenzie cast.
Really, really pleased to see Mackenzie back. She played really well when she got on, a couple of really good, strong carries early on, got her confidence back in, and you could just see when she scored her try, all the team round her, and it's great to see her compete for a position as well. And the front row really impressed me. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit biased, but you know, when you've got Byrne, Clifford, and Muir, like just carrying so hard, and then Mackenzie as well. And then you've got Bottomman who's got her feet up and having a cup of tea. Like, they are so lucky in that department. But they just carried so well, got through the gain line, and then of course the scrums were just, it's like they were playing touch rugby with them. It was so one-sided, and I just want them to have more competition for when they get to those latter stages. We know how good Canada's scrum is, and yeah, they'll have to make sure, and that's a real weapon for them. And so I'm really pleased to see that working so well for them. Because when you've got front row carrying that well, it's like having big number 8, and then obviously the speed of Byrne and people like that. Yeah, they're just bursting through, and they just get the offload. So it's wonderful. Back row over the field day.
Yeah, no, there's a pullback of Canada's play happening for a long time. The likes of Canada and Tosi, again today when we played earlier on today. Whereas front rows, doing all that work just allows that back five of the scrum just to free themselves up a little bit. Someone else I was impressed today, I'm a fan of the way she plays anyway, but taking a lot of line-out ball was Rosie Gallup. How do you rate her?
Yeah, I thought she was really solid, went through what she needed to do, had some nice little touches, some good carries, but again, she's really developed in that line-out area for me, really good at reading the line-out, calling them now, and I'm just so impressed how when I played with her when she was younger and just seeing her grow and really own that spot, I've been really impressed.
Claudia McDonald gets back from injury. Now that is an area where you think there's some, 3 into 2 on those weak spots. Abigail, we know that well, last very best in the world. She's fighting for Jess Briggs. Again, give us an assessment of Claude's performance.
I would have liked to have got a little bit more ball, if I'm honest, and we could have seen a little bit more, probably line breaks certainly from her. Again, she can be well classed on her day. She just needs the opportunity. Obviously needs a little bit of game time as well to get herself back into fine form, but I just don't think she's given that opportunity, and we saw it at the end what she can do, but I'd like to see her with that ball in hand, early doors. She's got a wicked step, great handoff, and yeah, an absolute weapon down that wing. She's got that real physical presence as well. Like, Jess has got the speed and that finishing ability, and picks those support lines really well. But I like Claude as well with that distribution, how she can create something, mixed up really nicely with seconds as well.
So you've spoken plenty about the Red Roses and England, so give us a mark out of 10 for the overall performance of the Red Roses there. We'll move on to tomorrow.
Overall, probably a solid 7.
Solid 7 for the Rockstar. Yeah, okay. Then for Samoa. And it's really, really important for the overall looking at this tournament. We spoke about Fiji with Deb and Tails earlier on. We're taking away the scoreboard, aren't we? Because we're talking about development of these countries and how much they have developed. You played them 2014 at Marcosi, I seem to remember a red card very early on. I almost had a head taken off. How much have they developed since then?
Well, I was really impressed by their physicality again, which is something they really brought to the 2 times that I played them, and you feel like you've been run over right, when you play them. There's certainly some massive hits going in. I would have liked their handling's pretty good. I would have liked them to kick on, but they're not professional, so it's really hard. They're not getting that time together. We've heard about some of the players maybe weren't almost able to come because they didn't get time off of work, and I've been in that era where you've got to use your holiday to go and play for England, and that is so hard. But when credit to them, they didn't give up. They got their 3 points, and you can't take anything away from their spirit. I would have liked to have seen them score a try, but it's so hard when you're against probably one of the world's best teams, and you're already starting a couple of tiers below.
Yeah, I mean, they bring a huge amount of energy, huge amount of singing. I love the way they go to the tunnel just before kick-off. And it's 79th minute, and they're still trying to go from the halfway line. They haven't attacked the England line. pretty much all day long. But there's a huge amount of art, like you. There hasn't been that development there, hasn't been that resources to run with them. Unlike the likes of Fiji, many of resources, nutrition, that kind of stuff being put there. Samoa do need more of a helping hand for my money. But in your roll on, of course they've got Australian X down in front. You think you're going to have stuff?
I'll be working elsewhere, but yeah, it should be a good game. But I'll certainly be watching. And it'll be interesting to see, obviously, Joe Yap, ex-Red Rose captain, will be at the helm leading the Aussies against us. So, yeah, I think she'll have a few things up her sleeve, and they're developing nicely. And I think that will be our toughest test. And I want to see how they go, and I certainly hope they can stand up to Red Roses and give them a good match.
Absolutely.